Welcome back into the Rock Pod. I am John Gay from Jag and Detroit Podcasts.
And I am Lisa Bibby with Keller Williams Advantage, your local neighborhood realtor.
I am Trish Caruth, third-generation jeweler and owner of Your Personal Jeweler.
I am Andrea Arndt. I'm an intellectual property attorney at Dickinson Wright.
So today our guest is Leah Diderichs from the American Lung Association. So curious, Leah, what is your background and how did you get involved with the American Lung Association?
Yes, thanks, Lisa. Hi, everybody. My background is I have my master's in public health. I've always been interested in improving the quality of life for all. I started my fundraising career while I was a student at Oakland University. So I did fundraising, tried to get students involved in giving and calling alumni to create scholarship programs for students who needed financial assistance at OU. I didn't really think fundraising would be my career at that time, but when I found a way to mash the world of public health and fundraising and raising funds for important causes, I found out that that was my passion. So that's a little bit about fundraising and public health. The American Lung Association fits in all of those things that I'm interested in. I have a lot of friends and family who suffer from different lung diseases such as asthma, pulmonary fibrosis. My uncle passed away from lung cancer. So to figure out how to make a career path, preventing all of those things and improving the quality of life for others was a perfect fit for me. So that's where I'm at and why I love the American Lung Association and raising money for it.
Well, Leah, we're thrilled to have you. And I know there are a lot of great events you have coming up with the American Lung Association. We're going to get to those in just a minute. But let's start at the top, and that is with the mission of the American Lung Association.
Yeah, so our mission is to save lives by improving lung health and preventing lung disease. Long term, our vision is a world free of lung disease. And then we have some strategic imperatives, those larger goals, which are to defeat lung cancer, champion clean air for all, improve the quality of life for those with lung disease and their families, and to create a tobacco-free future. So those four pillars are really what strives that overall mission and vision to create a world free of lung disease.
Leah, I know the Fight for Air climb is coming up. Can you tell us a little bit more about that, and can anyone participate?
Yeah, definitely. So the way to get that mission fulfilled is through fundraising events. So one of our largest fundraisers here in Detroit is our Fight for Air climb. Typically, and it's a little weird to think back, but we used to have the event in the stairwells of skyscrapers in Detroit. So at the Rensen, at Ally Detroit downtown, we had over 1,000 people climb up and down the stairs, which again, it's weird to think about cramming people in stairwells these days, but that is one of our signature events. So this is our 15th year. With all things going on in the world of COVID, we have reimagined the event to be outdoors at Comerica Park. So not everyone will be crammed together. Obviously, this year we'll be outdoors at Comerica Park climbing those stadium stairs. So it is a fun fitness challenge if you're looking to get outside and get active and get healthy and work those lungs. And it's also a fundraising event. So all participants have to raise a minimum of $100. That's the minimum. We have people who raise anywhere from their $100, or we have rock star fundraisers who raise anywhere from $5,000 to $10,000. So it is a way, again, to incorporate a fun fitness challenge and raise funds to fuel our mission. So that's a little bit of the overall. I could talk forever about the event if you're interested in more.
When is it?
Good question. It is May 23rd. And then the routes, we have a few different routes this year. So our regular climbers will climb that lower bowl of Comerica Park. For those looking for an added challenge, we have what's called the ultimate climb. They do the lower bowl and then go upstairs to the upper deck and do both. And then firefighters also participate in this event. So we know now more than ever how much we appreciate our first responders and firefighters. So it's really cool to see our firefighters and first responders participate in this event. Our firefighters climb in full gear, so they wear what is like 60 pounds of extra gear while they're climbing the stairs. It's an incredible thing to see. And then this year, the firefighters have their own unique route. So they'll be doing the upper bowl and an added exclusive to them upper bowl section. So different routes for everybody, but it is, again, a challenging event, but something fun for everyone to do. May 23rd.
Leah, you're taking me back to high school when I ran track in high school. I did not run very well, but one of the things that we had to do when we were at practice was up and down the stairs of the football stadium. And my legs just hurt just thinking back to those days. But I love that you've been able to take this event and adapt it in our current situation in our world of COVID and adapt it. And as you were explaining, I'm saying, are the firefighters going to go to the stairs in full gear? Yep, they're going to do it in full gear. So I love it. So are there anything specific that the proceeds from this go to, or is it to fund all American Lung Association initiatives?
It funds all initiatives. So here in Michigan, more than 1.4 million people in our state suffer from lung disease. So just here in Michigan, which is a staggering statistic. And then last year alone, more than 8,000 people in Michigan were slated to be diagnosed with lung cancer. So knowing how huge those numbers are here in the state of Michigan, this event goes to fuel those different initiatives to help raise awareness about the risk factors of lung disease. It helps people here in Michigan manage their illness through educational trainings and also helps find a cure for lung cancer.
Very cool. That sounds like a great event. And I like that it's at Comerica Park. Maybe you'll get a lot more interest for baseball enthusiasts because they can probably go on the field and check out some of the cooler behind the scene areas.
For sure. We're definitely getting a lot of draw to Comerica Park, especially since we haven't been there in over a year. We couldn't go to games last year. If we can this year, it'll be limited for sure. So you're exactly right. And it's an exclusive event to be at Comerica Park with a limited number of people. I should mention, of course, there will be all of the health and safety protocols. You do have to wear a mask throughout the entire event. We will be limiting how many people are in the event at one time or at Comerica at one time. So only a certain number of people will be climbing at once. So you're not running all over top of each other. There will be controlled wave times to help with the flow. So again, while you're there for this event, it is a limited experience to be able to see the field. It's a different experience from when you're at the game and it's crowded and there's just a sea of people. This event, it'll be very few amount of people here for a good cause. So it is an exclusive opportunity to see the behind the scenes of Comerica Park, all while supporting an important event.
Well, great. I hope it turns out really well.
Leah, quick question for you. So I realize that, obviously if you're a hardcore, diehard stair climber, you can feel the burn. But what about people who want to participate? Is there a minimum number of stairs that you have to climb? How can we accommodate people who are a little bit less adventurous?
Yes, that is a great question and one that we get often. So there are definitely those people who are signing up to race against the clock. They want to be the fastest. They train for it daily. We definitely have those people, but there are also people in our event who sign up just to support the cause. People who don't train, who don't know if they could do it themselves. But my answer is you can. So if you can walk a mile, you can do this challenge. It does equate, the regular climb is about 45 flights of stairs up and down, which may seem intimidating, but again, you can go at your own pace. So if you literally want to take it one step at a time, you totally can. We're there to help you through. There will be motivation along the way. And it's not a race. That's the great thing about it. For those who want to make it a race, they can. For those who want to take it one step at a time at their own pace, they totally can. So there is no time limit for you to complete the climb. Go at your own pace. There are water breaks along the way. If you want to step aside, take some water, and then get back to it, you can. So it is for everyone. If you're doing it just to see if you can, you're welcome. And if you want to race against the clock, you can do that as well. One thing that I want to mention too is we do have participants who are interested in supporting the event but have no interest whatsoever in climbing stairs, which I totally get. Sometimes I am one of those people. You can also volunteer. So if you're interested in helping and supporting, but again, stair climbing isn't your thing, we totally understand that. there are some limited volunteer opportunities to help the day of event run smoothly. We could not do this event without our volunteers. We have very limited staff at the American Lung Association, so we rely on our volunteers to help us keep things running smoothly, and they are a vital part of this process. So there are volunteer opportunities as well.
Leah, is there a deadline for both people who want to participate in the walk as well as volunteers?
Yes, great question. So we are limiting capacity, obviously, with all COVID restrictions, and slots are filling up very fast. So as of today, there are about 150 spots for climbers left. By the time this airs, it depends where we're at. So there very well could be spots still available. At that point, you would go to climbdetroit.org and register. If climber spots are full, there might be a chance to still volunteer. So again, visit climbdetroit.org. At the time this airs, it will have updated information of if there are still spots to climb or volunteer.
Well, thanks for all the good information. What is the American Lung Association doing about COVID-19?
Yeah, that's a great question. And when COVID hit, we all obviously were like, this is our wheelhouse. What are we going to do about this pandemic? So first and foremost, we're working to stop the current pandemic, but also prevent future respiratory outbreaks from happening, right? We want to stop what's going on now, but we don't want to repeat this path in the future. So the American Lung Association launched a $25 million investment for the COVID-19 Action Initiative, and those funds will expand the Lung Association's ongoing respiratory research program. It will enhance key public health measures through education and advocacy, and it will establish an advanced network to stop future respiratory virus pandemics. So again, working to stop what's going on and prevent it from happening in the future. We do have a lot of resources for the general public. So we have one-on-one COVID-19 support. If you are looking to talk to a medical expert, you can call our lung helpline, which is 1-800-LUNG-USA. Again, you'll get one-on-one support if you just have questions about what you specifically are experiencing and want someone to talk to. We know that it's hard to navigate right now. There's a lot of misinformation going around. It's hard to know what to trust. There's so many sources shared on social media or hearing from your family and friends, but the Lung Association is really working on being that trusted champion and resource of credible information. So again, we have that lung helpline. You can visit lung.org/COVID-19, and that is updated daily with all of the most current information and resources. And then we also have things like blog posts, so you can read stories told by healthcare providers, and current patients sharing their experience. I know that was a lot of information, but those are our key points right now of how we're supporting and working to diminish COVID-19.
Leah, I know you said it earlier, and it bears repeating. If in the last year, if we've learned anything, it is how valuable our first responders are. Doctors, nurses, firefighters, EMTs, police officers, frontline workers, grocery workers, and on down the list. If you're listening and you've been helping out with the pandemic, so many people in so many different areas, we certainly appreciate what you're doing.
Yes, I could repeat that whole thing. Yes, yes, yes.
Leah, so thank you so much for sharing so many resources that people have access to. I wanted to also kind of highlight, I believe you have a lung force walk that's going to be happening later this fall. Can you tell us a little bit more about that?
Yes, thank you for bringing that up. As we've said, our mission is important now more than ever. And it's important to advocate for lung health all year round. So not just when we have events coming up, but year round. So we really try to spread out our events throughout the year to make sure we're talking about lung health and raising funds for it all year long. So after our climb, which is again May 23rd, we have what's called Turquoise Takeover in May. So the whole month of May is focused on promoting awareness around lung health, and that's when we're ramping up for our Lung Force Walk. The walk will be held hopefully in person, but likely a hybrid in-person virtual option at the Detroit Zoo. So our Lung Force Walk is a time to come together and again raise funds and awareness for lung health and lung cancer. So if you're looking for an event to get involved with, we have, like I said, upcoming opportunities in May with Turquoise Takeover, and then our Lung Force Walk in October at the Detroit Zoo.
So, Leah, I know COVID has given us a lot of opportunities to come up with new hobbies and explore new things. Is there anything that you've done that's out of your normal?
That's a great question. I had a lot of time, obviously a lot of downtime during COVID, and it is tricky here in Michigan. The weather was not great, so there aren't many options. But one thing I did get more interested in was skiing. So I took advantage of the winter weather. There's not a lot to do in the winter except for ski. So I figured, why not? I took a lot of ski trips just locally here in Michigan, not anywhere super mountainous or crazy, starting slow. But I did go on quite a few ski trips whenever it snowed. We just thought nothing else going on. Skiing is also the perfect social distance activity, right? You already have like your ski length measured out. So it's tough to get close to people in skis. You're bundled up. You already have your face covered because it's so cold outside. So I found out that skiing was a perfect social distance, something for me to do in the winter here in Michigan.
Fun fact, I lived in Vermont for 7 years.
Ooh.
I never skied or snowboarded once because I am so uncoordinated, I figured I would just break a leg or an arm flying down that hill. So props to you, Leah.
It's different to say skiing here in Michigan, right? I can't imagine it in Vermont. I'm sure much more challenging. So I get it. It can be difficult. So if now that you're in Michigan, I would say give it a try on a nice smaller hill.
Yeah. Funny. I actually studied abroad in college and skied on the Alps. But at that point, I was not a very good skier. And the mountains are so steep. They're like triple black diamonds. And finally, I just gave up and sat on the middle of a hill or a mountain. And these little German kids came over and were asking if I was okay. And I'm just like, no, I'm just tired.
That's so funny you say that. I actually studied abroad in college too. And at that point I had skied a little bit. It wasn't really skiing season when I was there, but we were in the Swiss Alps and I made a mental note that my bucket list is to get better at skiing and come back and ski. You might have talked me out of it just now, but that is something that I'd be interested in doing.
Oh, it's fun. It's beautiful. I just wasn't very good.
Post-pandemic, Andrea and Leah are going on a trip to the Alps and they are going skiing.
I like it.
Let's do it. I can't wait. And then hopefully at that point we can travel and it'll be like, we'll be excited to get out.
Yeah, count me in on that trip. I picked up snowboarding this year.
I'm sure you have a lot of bruises.
Leah, I was going to ask you, what is your favorite ski resort here in Michigan?
Oh, that's a great question. So just locally, I went to Pine Knob quite a few times because it is in the area. One up north that we frequently go to is Crystal Mountain in the Traverse City-ish region. So that's a good one of my favorites.
All right, you guys. So now it is time for the Fishbowl Question of the day, where we ask you a totally random question. So John, can you pull a question from the Fishbowl?
All right, let's see here. Okay. All right. Leah, we're going to put you on the spot with our Fishbowl question and ask you, if you had one superpower, what would it be?
Oh my gosh, that's such a great question. I have so many different answers. I'm trying to figure out which one I want to say. Any superpower, I think it would be teleportation. I would love to just snap my fingers and be in a different place. Traveling is never fun, but I love to explore other places. So if I could just snap my fingers, maybe we could all be in the Swiss Alps. That would be pretty cool.
I'm in.
That sounds like a plan. Leah, we want to thank you for your time today, and we're going to put all of the contact information for the American Lung Association in the show notes of this podcast. And real quick, if you just want to give phone number, website one more time.
Yeah. My phone number is 248-784-2017. If you're interested in our Fight for Air Climb event, you can visit climbdetroit.org. And if you are interested in COVID and lung health information, visit lung.org.
Awesome. I am John Gay from Jag in Detroit Podcast. You can find me online for help with your podcast or creating a podcast at jagindetroit.com.
And my name is Lisa Bibby. I am a realtor with Keller Williams Advantage, and I put the real back in realtor. Hire me as your guide to navigate buying or selling your home. You can find me on Facebook or subscribe to my YouTube channel at Sold by Lisa B.
My name is Andrea Arndt. I am an intellectual property attorney at Dickinson Wright, and I help my clients protect their inventions and build their brands.
My name is Trish Caruth. I own Your Personal Jeweler. We specialize in creating custom engagement rings and wedding bands. You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at The Personal Jeweler.
Thank you for checking out this episode of The Rock Pod. If you like what you heard, you can follow the podcast in Apple, Spotify, Google, or wherever you listen to your podcasts, and we'll talk to you next time.